You know those moments in Battlefield 1 when you round a corner or pop your head up at the wrong moment only to be left looking down the turret of a feckin' tank? Quick, run away, it's a tank! It's basically brown trouser moment right there, because who doesn't love a good tank? Now so far I've met maybe 2 different types of tank drivers in Battlefield 1. The first is, I guess, a cool, calculated driver who knows not to overreach himself or he will get swarmed and eventually blown up. He knows when to back up and what routes to take on each map, basically how to survive as long as possible. The other type of tank driver is busy licking the window while screaming, "I'm a tank, bitches! Hear me roar!" as he drives at full speed onto an objective and gets blown up clean out of the map, along with the 4 or 5 poor passengers who knew feck all about what was just about to happen to them as they spawned in. Rest in pieces to those poor sods, you picked a bad time to spawn in. But I've been going out of my way to hunt down tanks in Battlefield 1 over the past few days, big steel feckers, because I've been in matches where tanks are completely ignored and the player is left to go on absolutely insane kill streaks. And then players in chat start calling tanks overpowered. But are they overpowered, hard to kill, or is there simply just not enough players switching to deal with the tanks? Or maybe you think, why should I have to switch? Shouldn't each class have a way to deal with tanks like in previous Battlefield titles? And you might have a point. But right now, with so many scouts and medics running around, it does leave tanks with an easy enough time of it on certain maps. But at the same time, I will agree that at times tanks in Battlefield 1, or more importantly, like I've said, a clever player in that tank can be a huge pain in the arse. And they can cause me to swear and cuss like some kind of demented Egypt. Can someone please kill that feckin' tank? Now I know it sounds a bit stupid, it's a tank potato, of course it's going to wreck, of course it's going to be powerful, but if all you have is a rifle or a syringe, then chances are you ain't winning that battle. So calling a tank overpowered when you're not equipped to deal with it seems a little bit crazy. Maybe switch to assault and then deal with it, because you don't want to be like Freddy. Freddy brought a rifle to a tank fight and now Freddy is 6 feet under. Like I've already said, I've spent the last few days specifically hunting down tanks with the assault class, and most of the time it's been pretty easy to destroy them until you come up against a decent driver in the heavy tank and it's 6 guns blazing that give you no real sneaky way of approaching it. Then the challenge begins. Whether it's got flamethrowers on the side of it or explosive rounds, that thing is hard as nails and pretty difficult to take down on your own. While trying to blow up tanks with my assault class, I found that the most success I've had blowing up these tanks was while using a combination of the anti-tank grenades, the light anti-tank grenade, and of course the AT rocket gun. Now I've tried running with TNT, but I've died way too many times trying to get close enough to tanks while using the TNT to even consider it. There is far too many scouts spotting you to even get close to those things, and the anti-tank mines seem like a bit of a waste when you find yourself face to face with a tank, or even when you place a mine down in an area where you think a tank might drive by, and then the fecker goes and drives through a house beside it, leaving you standing there thinking, motherfucker. Now I personally think that tanks are fine the way they are right now, and I think the assault class is more than capable of taking one down. The one thing I'm not sure I like about the new Battlefield 1 is that sometimes your AT rockets will bounce off the tank and ricochet, dealing no damage, basically like it would in World of Tanks. It makes taking tanks down that little bit harder, but even when it bounces you might still give away your position, which is awesome. Expect to die in the next 3 seconds, and the reason the rounds bounce off the side of the tank is because the hit wasn't a straight impact, and much like World War I tanks were designed with angles on their armour to make rounds bounce off them, so they've kind of implemented that into Battlefield 1. So like I said, I'm not sure I like that feature or not. Of course, you could always just jump into a bomber and bomb the feckin' shit out of a tank, which seems pretty effective considering how slow some of those tanks move, or you could jump onto a stationary turret and hope you can destroy the tank fast enough before you get shot in the head or shanked in the arse. But of course you guys will have a difference of opinion. Let me know what you think of tanks in Battlefield 1. Are you finding it easy to destroy them, or do you try your best to simply avoid them in each match? Do me a favour and leave a like if you enjoyed the video, or don't if you didn't. Subscribe for more Battlefield 1 content, and as always, thanks very much for watching.
Hey, Robert, it's on! Feindlicher Sanitäter! Aufpassen! Feindlicher Sperr gesichtet! Panzer in Sicht!